ShartimusPrime, reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking back hits, Subscribe,
I got the same superpower, watch! Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here doing another Marvel Legends figure review on the Marvel Legends Captain America 2016 Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure Waves. Red Onslaught! If you're trying to pick this up, you can get it now.
Big! Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And big thanks to Comic and Figure Addicts for helping me get this set over here. If you're a Bay Area local, go ahead and check them out on Facebook. Now, we get a bunch of Build-A-Figure pieces over here. The head came with Taskmaster, and then we're looking at the torso came with Mockingbird, and then the right leg came with Sharon Carter, left leg came with Scourge, left arm came with Whirlwind, and the right arm came with Cottonmouth. And then Captain America came with the shell piece right over here in the back. I'm not going to build this right away. I want to take a look at this Red Skull head sculpt first, because it's a brand new Red Skull head sculpt and I like it. Hey, say Red Skull head sculpt 5 times fast, huh? Anyway, getting a closer look at this, I think it looks really good. Nice glossy red paint, and you get some black mixed in it. I guess a little heavy-handed right there, but I think this looks really nice. I'm really digging it a lot. The only thing is that it's a little bit on the large side if you wanted to put it on a Coulson body or a Chameleon body. Here's Coulson right here. And yeah, it's just too big for Coulson, man. That's just really not working out so well. So the same thing putting it on Chameleon. I tried this with the Professor X from Toy Biz, and it's even bigger on that figure. So, I mean, it could kind of work, but I just think it's too large. And then comparing it to the Red Skull that we'd got a Captain America wave from like 2 years ago or something, you can see how much bigger this skull is than that one. It does look best on this head sculpt, but I can't get it all the way on that peg because it sounds like the plastic's about to break. But I do think that this head sculpt does look best on this figure if you're going to put it on something else. Then to continue on with the comparisons, we have our very first Red Skull, the Series 5 Chase figure right there. And you have your comparison with the Toy Biz Face-Off Cap Red Skull, which I did custom paint, so that's why it looks like that. Well, anyway, let's move on to getting this thing built. Will you take us away, Bumblebee? Alright, so we'll start with this right leg right here. And it snaps on quite nicely. It was actually a little bit more stiff the first time I tried putting those on, but it's gotten a little bit easier. And the arms peg in very well. Yep, there you go. And then you want to make sure that you have like this little curved shape facing the front of the figure, not the flat side. And then you get these little pegs right, or these peg holes right over there on the front and back. And it has tabs that go into those. And it holds securely, I like that. Same thing on this side right here. Then you get the shell piece on the back. And then getting the head sculpt on here is very difficult. It's very stiff neck joint on there, so yeah. And here's Red Onslaught all completed, and we finally have gotten the Onslaught figure that we've been waiting for all these years. Just kind of. This is not really the Onslaught figure I've been wanting this whole time. I'm not even really that huge of an Onslaught fan. I was about 12 years old, I think, when Onslaught came around, and I thought he was really cool looking, but at that age I don't know, I was kind of confused, the whole thing with Professor X and Magneto combining into one giant thing. But I thought he looked really cool, and I thought that this was the kind of Onslaught we were going to get back in the Toy Biz days, but no, we got a different version, which I'll show in a comparison later on. Now, looking at this guy, I think it's just incredible. I love that we're getting a brand new sculpt over here, just through and through. I just think it's a very good figure. As much as I've said I like this Red Skull head sculpt, I have not had this on display like this at all since I picked it up. I just took the helmet off of my Series 3 Magneto and just plopped it right on there and said, yeah, alright, there's my Onslaught. Boom, done, custom made, finished. I'm awesome. I rule. Now, that doesn't really look like how Onslaught's supposed to look, but for the time being, you know, my wishful thinking and all, that's enough for me at the moment. But anyway, looking at this plastic and all the sculpted work over here, I really like it a lot. And I love that we're getting some color variation right over here on a lot of these lines. Like you can see right here, we get a black mixed in right there. Same thing right here. I'm liking that. These claws are very sharp, by the way. They are quite pointy. I don't know if they're like anti-venom Marvel Select sharp, but you know, still very well made. I like this. I guess you can see a little bit of a marbling effect, but it doesn't bother me. And I like that we get a lot of shimmering right there in that plastic. I think this looks really good. Yeah, man, I'm really digging this. A lot of nice sculpted work on this guy. I like this one. Yeah, it just looks really cool. Nice lines and black paint mixed in right there. Yeah, if the marbling thing really bothers you, it's gonna creep up on this figure, and, you know, just to throw that out there. But like I said, it doesn't bother me personally. He does have peg holes at the bottom of his feet. His head fell off. I do have a little bit of extra red paint over here. I don't know if this had fallen. I don't remember ever dropping this one, so I think it did come with the extra red paint on this piece. Then he's looking at the back of the figure. You can see they even sculpted these rivets right here inside that knee joint, which I think is great. And then here's looking at his little back shell thingy, looking like a crustacean. And you can remove this if you want to. It just pops right off, of course. And then you can see, hey, they even added some paint in an area that was being covered up by the figure. That's cool. Now the head articulation is very hard to work with. That disc hinge right there is very stiff. And if I have the head off and I move that pin all the way back, I need a screwdriver in there to push it forward. So moving upwards, he only moves up that much, which actually isn't too terrible. And he can look down and forward that much. You get side to side movement. I mean, this collar piece is pretty large, so you can't really move his head a whole ton. Going to these shoulders over here, they swivel up and down a little bit, just that much. And he has shoulders that move outward that far. He can bend forward that much. Oh, that's why we have those little cuts in there for the bicep. I like that. Very smart, Hasbro. You get a bicep swivel right here. You get a single jointed elbow that does not even meet 90 degrees. It swivels over here as well. And then you get swivels on the wrists, and they hinge up and down too. I like that they can move back even though they have this little piece right here. He does have a good diaphragm joint. It rotates side to side. You do get diaphragm pivot, and it does move forward, and it does move back. Of course, you could rotate this piece side to side. He has good T-joints that move outward that much, yeah, so that's pretty good. And he can kick forward as well, and not back. He has an upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. I just took the back piece off to show, but yeah, they bend in that much. And then the ankles can move down that much. They barely move up, just only a tiny bit. And that, even that's just kind of tough to get. Then he does have ankle pivot. And measuring out Red Onslaught over here, he stands pretty tall. I want to say he's standing at 8.5 inches. Then for that Onslaught comparison that I promised, here's the Toy Biz Onslaught Build-A-Figure. Now looking at this again, I actually thought of two things. First off, this wasn't the Onslaught design that I had wanted. And when I first saw this, I thought Onslaught should have been way bigger. I was like, whoa, Onslaught? I think Onslaught should have been twice as big as this guy. And then I'm happier with this figure right here, even though it's shorter than this Onslaught. So if I remember correctly, Onslaught's able to change size. I know Red Onslaught for sure was able to get as tall as like, you know, like a 5-story building or something like that. But regardless, I think this is still a good sized Build-A-Figure. Then comparing Red Onslaught to a couple other Hasbro Build-A-Figures, we have the recently released Absorbing Man BAF, along with the Age of Ultron Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure. And then looking at these two side to side, I kind of wish the Red Onslaught was about the size of the Hulkbuster. Then for me, doing the Whirlwind review, I had Abomination just laying around, and this is a Toy Biz figure, which was not a Build-A-Figure. This was just a regular figure that you would just find on the shelf all by itself that came with a Build-A-Figure piece. So, yeah, you know, I've just grown accustomed to the reality that large figures coming in just a single card like this are just not happening anymore. Then going back to some positive thinking, here's Red Onslaught next to the other figures from the wave, and I gotta say, I like this wave. I don't like it more than the Spider-Man wave that just came out, but I do think it's a good wave. A little disappointed in the Cottonmouth and in the Captain America and the Sharon Carter over there too. But for the most part, I do like it. I'm super happy to finally have Whirlwind, and I was surprised to like Scourge and Taskmaster and Mockingbird as much as I do. And then here's Red Onslaught next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. And I'm sorry, no stop motion today, you guys. It's 10 p.m. and I gotta take a plane tomorrow morning over to New York, which I am in while you're watching this video right now. So no BTLD today or tomorrow's review either, sorry. Now I'm aware that we will get the real Onslaught head sculpt with the Rogue figure in the next X-Men line that we see from Hasbro. But until then, I will have this figure displayed with the Series 3 Magneto head sculpt right on there. And I gotta say, I really do like this figure. I feel a bit schizophrenic over here because I keep talking about how much I wish the figure was larger, but posing it around and just the design of it and the look of it, I really like it. I'm happy to have it. Anyway, I hope you guys are happy with my review. If you are, please hit the like button. Click any of these boxes right over here if you want more Shart in your face. If you want to check out the Patreon account and support this YouTube channel, check the link below. You can check out channel updates over on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and don't forget to go to MarvelousNews.com for the latest in Marvel-related news. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Posing action figures, posing action figures, posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures.
That's crispy.
I think it looks really good. Whoa.